Hey everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. It is Sunday morning. And we've just barely gotten the bad taste out of our mouth. The behavior of Sarah and Andrew at the Duchess of Kent's funeral. That terrible display. Well, I tell ya, seems Sarah Ferguson has been lying. This comes from the Daily Mail. Who would have guessed it? Yeah, she lied when she pledged to cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein. The Mail on Sunday has gotten their hands on a bombshell email that Sarah wrote to Jeffrey Epstein just weeks after publicly disowning him. She wrote him a gushing private message calling him a, quote, steadfast, generous, and supreme friend. She sent the groveling message, quote, from the truth of my heart, unquote. That was March 7th, 2011. Now, we know that Epstein had given Sarah a considerable amount of money to help pay off her debts. They're quoting £15,000. I've heard up to £75,000. Can't verify it. £15,000 is what the Daily Mail is saying. Now, we know Sarah and Andrew both admire and want to be close to people with money. That's obvious, the way they cultivate their circle of friends. They like money. They both have proven they'll engage in shady deals with shady people in the pursuit of money. We already knew Andrew lied about cutting off ties to Epstein, so I'm not surprised that Sarah had done the same thing. And as wild as that story is, Andrew and Sarah, the gift that keeps on giving, it'll never end. But you know what? They're not even the big story. The Daily Mail has an article that seems to outline a strategy to bring Harry and Meghan back. Not necessarily taking part in royal activities, but family things, royal things. Kind of on par with the way that they treat Andrew now. He pops up here and there with the family at events, but he's got no royal duties. Now, this latest Daily Mail article about Sarah also isn't going to help his case. Now, I believe that this particular article has been fed directly from the Sussex camp. The general tone they're trying to portray is that Harry's on a charm offensive and Meghan's all in. They are excited to be part of the family again. The king is ecstatic, but furious with William, who's against the reunion. Let's look at this. We've heard Harry lately talking about, he wants to bring his children back. He wants his children to go to British boarding school. Even though there's various interviews in the past where Harry has said he hated school. He hated being away from the family. He hated being alone. William, his older brother, as siblings will do if they attend the same school, a lot of times they keep their distance from each other. Harry didn't, but all of a sudden, the imaginary children need to go to British boarding school. It's all propaganda. Camilla won't even allow Harry in a room alone with Charles for 15 minutes. You really think that Harry and Meghan will be welcomed back into the inner circle? Nobody trusts them. Sure, the king might want to repair relations before his, his end. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be welcomed back in the family. And where's all the... We've just seen Harry prancing around at non-events in London. Well, child, children in need, barriers set up, nobody showed up to see him. Should show what people think. People don't care about him anymore. They don't. Nobody wants them back. And I mean, he's talking about he wants to be back. He wants to spend time with his father. Maybe 2 or 3 events a year. He's pitching in and out again. Half in, half out again. But you know what's missing now? He's not crowing about the need for security and how unsafe he is in Britain. I think that last month when he went and petitioned the British government over his father's head, I think he might have been told off. 'Cause he's not talking about the security anymore. All of a sudden the kids need British boarding school. Not talking about Britain's far too unsafe to bring his wife and children. Now he's talking about he wants to come 3 times a year. He's doing the same kind of thing, him and Meghan. They're big on this sort of new agey bullshit, manifesting things. It doesn't work. He figures if he says it enough, it'll become true. Or people will just fall in line because he's saying it and he's the prince, It's all BS. It's all BS. Harry and Meghan's commitment to each other and to duty, well, that was affirmed in the article. And the proof? Well, the proof was that they appeared together at Kevin Costner's annual charity event supporting first responders. Yeah, all's well in Hollywood, because they got pictures. Remember 2 years ago, their first invite to Kevin Costner's estate for the event? Meghan chasing Costner around, trying to get close to him, try to corner him. And the first opportunity, she sidled up to one of the organizers that was holding a microphone. Remember that? And she tried to grab it out of her hand. Meghan, or for that matter, Harry at the time, neither one of them had any role in the event. Meghan was never scheduled to speak or be interviewed. It was set up by their publicity agents. It was like a gig. It was an appearance. And now last year, remember, Meghan was absent. She wasn't invited. She stayed away. Well, this year they're back. Between Harry's new press people and Meghan's agents, they've wangled a joint invitation. But I'm sure it came with conditioners. Costner doesn't mess around. Meghan is seen with that sickly sweet gaze, clutching on to Harry, of course. Rekindled love, don't you know? They're operating in unison again. The Daily Mail said so. Really? Reality is, Meghan's caught between a rock and a hard place. Mexit was a failure, let's face it, just as Meghan had miscalculated what marrying Harry would bring. She thought castles and he was a billionaire. She really overplayed her hand there. Well, the same with California. She thought she'd be just welcomed by Hollywood elites and the world is her oyster and she's gonna be a star. Well, she's alienated and infuriated everybody. She's proven she has no vision, no talent. She's not creative. Every venture, the podcasts and Netflix as ever, everything is tanked. And she has run out of options. That's why she's still clinging to Harry. He's all she's got, even though she despises him and hates his family more. Harry's at best. Harry can only try to wangle the half in, half out that he petitioned the Queen, and she said no. This is what it sounds like. The odd 3 or 4 events a year with his father, perhaps. Being back, part of the family. Half in, half out, that would satisfy Meghan. She'd only show up on the odd occasion she might be allowed to wear a tiara. You're never going to see the kids, 'cause they'll be in boarding school, don't you know? This is what Harry's bucking for. And this is what he's hoping the king is gonna fall for. Harry wants back in, and Charles would like a relationship with him. Camilla's opposed, we know that. The rest of the family is opposed. They're still dealing with Andrew and Sarah and even this new stuff. It never ends because Charles never dealt with it in the first place, and they know if Harry, let alone Meghan, comes back, it's going to be constant conflict. But you know what, in my opinion, it's not going to happen. As I've been saying for over 2 years now, things are going to shift quickly. In my opinion, and from what I've been talking about, I think we've had the seminal event in the timeline. Lines have been drawn. We saw examples of this during Trump's visit. Camilla's rude behavior toward Catherine, and even at the presentation when they're on the white platform, William and Catherine were shunted off to the side in the dirt. And if you look at older photos of these kinds of events with the Queen, she always allowed Charles and Diana, and then later Charles and Camilla, under the canopy on the platform with her. This was clearly a snub. Now, one thing the article got right is that there is tension between William and his father. They've never been terribly close, despite what you hear. Don't forget, a teenage William was his mother's confidant. Yeah, she overshared and shouldn't have maybe talked to him the way she did. But the point is, he knows. I don't think he ever forgave Charles for Diana's heartache. He never wanted Charles to marry Camilla. He's not a fan. Never has been. But it goes much deeper than that. William has watched while Charles has bungled the Andrew situation, and that just continues. William and his family have been assaulted for years by the Markles' behavior, what they've done, what they've said. Harry's a traitor, and Meghan's dangerous, and they know it. Yeah, no matter what anybody says, William will not allow it. And like I've been saying for, 3 years now? Charles's reign is going to be a short one. I said this before we had a cancer diagnosis. I said there would be an event, a marker in time representing a turn in the support for the king. The recent Tommy Robinson event in London drew millions of people onto the street. In my opinion, that was our event. If we refer to the historical events with Edward and Wallace mirroring today, here's where we're at. William will be king sooner than later. Charles will be sidelined. William will face the same thing that King George VI did when dealing with his brother, the former king, Edward, Duke of Windsor. Harry and Meghan are not only trouble to William, they are a huge liability to the monarchy as a whole. William doesn't need competition. He doesn't need Meghan and Harry to set up a separate court, which you know that they would do. William doesn't want his brother swanning around doing faux royal tours. And he knows that this will weaken the monarchy. A deal will have to be made, a compromise, a negotiation, some way to sort it out, while keeping Harry and Meghan out of the public eye. King George worked with Churchill at the time, and Edward and Wallace were sent to the Bahamas, where the Duke served as governor from 1940 to 1945. Now, while Harry and Meghan are fighting for a toehold back into the family, it's clear that something has to be done. But along with offering the Markles a compromise, there will be a price to be paid. The titles, the honorifics, his place in the succession, his role of Counselor of State, all that's got to go in return for some kind of a role and a financial settlement. That'll be the cost. So let's look at the next few months. I really think that we'll get some kind of announcement early in the new year. Charles stepping aside, William assuming the crown. I know it sounds crazy, but everything I've been saying for over 2 years now has happened. We've witnessed what I call the seminal event. This is why Harry and Meghan are frantic. They know that once William has total control, they're done for. They're finished. Things are happening right on track, and boy, it's going to get interesting. Stay with me, and we'll watch it together. Have a great day, everybody. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I want to know what you're thinking. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.